and welcome. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Tonight, police in Cross River State arrest suspected mastermind of food poisoning that killed a couple and sent 41 others to hospital in Ogoja town. Controversy trails new version of bill on open grazing prohibition sent to the Benue State House of Assembly by the executive. Federal government plans new policy direction for the nation's universities, resolves to end the face-off between institutions, governing councils and their management. US President Donald Trump turns to tax reforms after failure to get his healthcare bill through Congress yesterday. On Business News tonight, Nigerian National Petroleum Company set to recover $184 million of underpaid crude swap remittances from 3 oil companies.
And in sports news, the Nigeria Football Federation confirms the cancellation of next week's international friendly between the Super Eagles and the Stallions of Burkina Faso.
We begin in Cross River State, south Nigeria, where the police has caught the suspected mastermind of the food poisoning that led to the death of a couple in Ogoja town. The man, identified as Mr. Paul Ammon, is said to be currently undergoing interrogation over the incident, which left about 41 others hospitalized. The suspect, who runs an eatery in the town, is alleged to have intentionally poisoned the food as a way of getting back at the residents. Our correspondent in the state gathered that the 41 victims are receiving treatment at the General Hospital in Ogoja, and according to the hospital's medical superintendent, some of them will be discharged soon, while investigations will be carried out to find out the type of poison used.
From all the victims, from what they took, the time this thing took place and all that. And we found out that all of them ate from that same source that morning. In fact, it's a regular thing for them to eat from that 10 o'clock to come to this woman to take their meals, in the morning. So after 2 hours to 3, some started experiencing the vomiting. Some were foaming, some getting agitated, and then some spitting blood. And in fact, there was chaos in the community. So we're all mobilizing, even the public health, that of the local government, to all come to the aid of these people. We're all there to make sure we find out the cause. I suspected poisoning initially because there was no fever. And they just complained, a few of them complained of abdominal pain after the meal. We related the impact of this disease to the food eating. So we're thinking of chemical poisoning or bacterial poisoning, And then just query, it's a provisional diagnosis. We are still expecting from the laboratory finding to really establish what must have happened.
Now let's move to Benue State, where a major controversy appears to be brewing over the change in the content and title of the open grazing prohibition bill recently sent to the State House of Assembly by the executive. The revelation was made by the lawmakers after the letter was sent by the executive and was read in plenary. But the state government has denied any external influence leading to the change, as alleged in some quarters, adding that the new version was drafted to accommodate more views in the bill.
Some months ago, Governor Samuel Ortom sent the State Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Bill to the State House of Assembly for passage into law. The bill seeks to provide for the establishment of ranches and the Benue State Livestock and Ranches Administration and Control Committee, as well as Livestock Special Marshal Corps. According to the governor, the bill is aimed at ending security challenges in the state. To begin work on the bill, members of the State Assembly are here at a town hall meeting to listen to the views of the public on the bill and other related issues.
People told me that the title of the bill they saw at the first instance was more comforting and more assuring to them.
We should not establish ranches. The bill should be changed.
The House Majority Leader reads a letter written by the executive.
Now, we now had 2 bills, and indeed this letter was very emphatic. If you look at the second paragraph, it says the livestock promotional development and Agency Bill 2016 is to replace the prohibition of open grazing of livestock bills 2016.
The President General of TIV Ethnic Group also seems to have something against the document.
Nzoti hereby recommend that it be withdrawn, rejected and thrown away. Reports have reached us a matter of urgency and will ask you to react to the rumors making the rounds that this bill that is before us for today's public hearing is radically different from the one that was presented to the House by the Executive Governor of Benue State.
All that I have said, we are going to look at it, consider the sections that they have raised concerns about, and then possibly see what best can be done that will give them the best of laws.
Meanwhile, the state government has denied the allegation of financial inducement to the lawmakers to have some of the bill's contents changed.
Nobody paid any money to the state government. To the best of my knowledge, nobody has paid any money to. And I want to say that of all governors in the Federation, you discover that the governor of Benue State, His Excellency Samuel Otom, was the first governor to be outspoken on this issue of ranches in the country. He clearly said from the beginning, that there's no land in Benue State for open grazing.
In view of the pain and suffering arising from the clashes between farmers and herdsmen in Benue State, it may be needful for the state government and the lawmakers to agree on the way forward as soon as possible.
To education now, the federal government says it will no longer tolerate the face-off between the governing councils of universities and their management over the running of institutions. This warning was handed down by the Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka, during the 31st convocation ceremony of the University of Port Harcourt, Rivers State. He also revealed some new policy directions for the smooth running of the university system.
Starting from this academic year, JAM has been advised to stop giving students to our professional universities. If you're a University of Agriculture, your business will be in agriculture, not in medicine, not in law, not in accountancy. Your charge is to concentrate on agriculture. If you're a University of Science and Technology, that is your charge. You have no business with pharmacy, medicine, law, or other courses. Any state that desires to have a conventional university should discuss with the federal government, and such could be established for such a state.
Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka. For some Nigerians planning to travel to the United States but still harbor concerns over what awaits them, Nigeria's envoy, Ambassador Hakeem Balogun, has dismissed such fears. Ambassador Balogun was speaking with journalists in Washington, D.C., insisted that Nigeria is not on the list of countries on President Trump's travel ban.
The executive ban on immigration, does not affect Nigerians. Whatever must have taken place regarding visa issuance, vetting at the airport, it's all normal. All these things have been done even before President Trump. Look, let's get one thing clear. That your issued visa is not a guarantee that you will end up wherever you're going. It's a global thing. It's not just the United States. Even with us in Nigeria, Nigerians are not being singled out. We are not part of before it was 7, now 6. We are not one of those countries that have been, I don't even want to say that have been targeted, but that have been mentioned. We are definitely not one of them.
The Nigerian Union of Pensioners in Adamawa State is asking the government to pay over 19 billion naira accumulated pension arrears and gratuity owed their members. The union leader, Alhaji Umaru Mariga, insists the state government is handling the issue of pensioners' entitlement with levity, but the government has promised to resolve the matter as soon as possible. Pensioners from the 25 local government areas of Adamawa State gather to consider their current plight. Many of them now frail and without the energy for the usual placard-carrying protest. They muster whatever is left of their strength to relay their message.
The state has never adhered to the constitutional provision of Section 173, subsection 3, which says that pension should be reviewed every 5 years by 5%. This has never taken place in Adamawa State since the creation of the state. Because of this, the pensioners in Adamawa State are thrown into penury, poverty, and much suffering.
His colleagues from the local government chapters share their experience.
We have about 3 permanent secretaries that died while in active service. Their names are included in the list of those to be paid, and the government has not deemed it necessary to pay their own next of kin their entitlements.
Is it right to say the government has released some money? That is an open window for you. You have been budgeting over the years. You cannot pay gratuity, and you cannot, by the way things are going, this state cannot pay that.
Reacting to the issue, the Commissioners for Information and that of Finance and the Head of Service assured the aggrieved pensioners that the state government is working hard to ease their suffering.
I must also reassure you for the records, and this is the position of His Excellency the Governor, that whatever it will take to help Adamawa State government clear the pension and gratuity areas, we will do it. We're trying to put in place a situation whereby a month or two before you retire, you'll be paid your gratuity. Okay? And then on a monthly basis, you'll be paid your monthly pensions.
Only recently, the state government approved the sum of 2 billion naira to be shared equally by the state and local government staff pensions board for the settlement of pension arrears. According to the retired workers, the amount has not been released. They are asking the state government to use the second tranche of money from the federal government to pay their members. While the Adamawa state government tries to settle the issue of pensioners in Kano State, tackling youth unemployment appears to be Governor Ganduje's top priority. The state government has recently trained 79 youths in mechanical and other support services at an automobile training center. The government says it plans to train over 100 more in the second phase as part of the measures to empower the youth.
Is the creation.
Worried by the increasing number of jobless youths in Kano State, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje in 2016 contracted Peugeot Automobile Nigeria to train youth in automobile repairs and other services. The governor says the idea of training youth in automobile mechanics is to bridge the huge gap that exists between the working class and the unemployed youth.
The state government has made a huge investment aimed at producing these ready-for-market graduates, whom I'm happy to report to you that they are now gainfully employed and they have already been attached to mechanic workshops nearest to their respective localities. They will also be presented with complete workshop tools in their fields of training, in addition to a working capital of 50,000 naira each.
According to the State's Commissioner for Information and Chairman of the Ganduje Empowerment Initiative, Mr. Mohammed Garba, the program has so far been successful.
We are happy we have done quite a number of programs like this. We have empowered and trained more than 20,000 youth in Kano State. And I think this is going to be a continuous process.
Certified by the City and Guild, Peugeot Automobile Nigeria and owners of Pan Learning Center PLC say the company is determined to assist state government with interest in bridging the gap of employment among their youth.
In part two, after the break, former President Jonathan asks Nigerians to respect the ballot as part of ways to ensure sustenance of democracy. That's in a moment. Join us again.